Hi parents, it's exam season right now, and one of the most important things for your children is for them to do their very best in their exams so that the whole year's hard work will be shown in this exam paper. Now the question is, what can you do to help your child score the very best in this upcoming exam? Now, I'm going to share with you an amazing secret of how I help top students score for their very best, or how I help students that I've got to coach and help them get great results. Now, the very first thing we should do is not to buy them the best books, is not to send them for the best classes. The very first thing to do is to understand what is the challenge that the student is facing for these coming exams. So the very first thing that I usually do to help my students is I give them a mock exam. I'll go out there understanding which exams they're about to take. I buy a mock exam sample or maybe a past year exam paper, and I let my student do that paper as if it was the real thing. That means they'll sit down the way they'll sit in exams. There'll be time according to the exam timing, and they need to complete the paper. Now, once they've completed the paper, then let's mark the paper together. Pay attention to 3 possible things that happen when you are marking the paper. Now, the very first one is you notice that a majority of the answers are wrong. And ask the student, what happened here? And if the student answers, you know what, I don't really know the answer. That means the student has a very poor fundamental of the facts on the subject. That means the student needs to build on their fundamentals. It's not about giving them more practice questions. It's not about giving them more textbooks. It's about going back to the foundations, the fundamental of those particular subjects. And I'll share with you how to focus on these kind of students after this video. The next one is you have a group of students that they are okay with some of the fundamental questions. Majority of the questions are correct, but the next portion of them, they got it wrong. And they usually answer is like, oh, this particular part I got confused. And the reason why this happens is because the general facts or memory questions, the students get it right. But when a lot of exams questions now, they are also focusing on K-BUT or critical thinking questions. And if the student is sabotaged by the critical thinking questions, chances are they remember the information, but they may not understand the information where they got tricked by the exam paper. This is where students like this, they require more past year question practices because they need to be comfortable understanding the information and then practicing on them. So this one, past year questions come after they really understand the facts of the information. All right. Now, the third group, this group of students that they finish the paper, they have majority of them correct, but still a few wrongs. And then when the students actually knows the answer, but they got the answer wrong. Why is that the case? Chances are these are students that are prepared on the information, but they are not prepared on the mental state. Their emotional is not prepared. Meaning to say, when it comes to the stress of an exam, when you're seated there with a certain time frame, it gets stressful, and when they're stressed, they cannot deliver. And that's the majority of what very smart students suffer in exams. For cases like this, one of the best advice that I can give is to actually have those students go through a lot of mock exams in the exam format. Meaning to say, to get them comfortable with the particular exam style so that the stress becomes comfortable for them. We cannot take away the stress, but we can get them to be comfortable with stress. All right, so the best way to help a student as a parent, to help your child with the exam is, number one, give them a mock exam, actual exam style, and then identify where is it that they are challenged with. Because when you know what they are challenged with, then the way that we can help them becomes more effective. The very first one, if the fundamentals are totally not there, go back to basics. The best way to solve this one is find the answers based on those questions. I'm not asking them to straight away go to the books and study from square one. That is great, but in today's world, students, or even for us, when we buy a new TV or a new product, we don't read the manuals. We will just do it. And only when there's a problem, we troubleshoot it. We'll Google for the answer. And that's exactly the same concept here. Now, they have a question over there. They are now curious, what is the answer here? Get them to Google and find the answer. What is the answer for this question? Then their aha moment will be more effective for them. All right, so that's a very great way. Because for me, when I help my students, I teach them the art of learning how to learn so that they focus not on memorizing information, but understanding information. And that's why my students work in a very different format. Now, if you don't have a chance to come to my programs, this is one great way to start them off. But if you can give them a chance to learn how to learn, that will be the very best. The second big type of students that they memorize the information, but they are not able to answer the critical thinking questions. For these students, the best way is to give them the same, you look for those kind of questions that focus on the same chapter, but with different type of questions that are thrown on. Some of these has samples. You go to the bookstores and ask them for chapter with questions. Now, those kind of focus is to help the students get comfortable with taking the answers and information that they know and training them to think in a different perspective. Now, training a student to think is not something that happens overnight. It happens with time. But using this kind of question practices helps them increase their ability to think and focus on those type of thinking in that particular chapter. So that's a very, very good way. Because when I help my students understand facts, it helps them understand the context so that they don't get tricked that easily. All right? That's why learning how to learn is so important. The third one, for students that they know the information, they know their facts, but they get mentally stressed and they black out during the exams, the best way to do is to get them comfortable with stress. Meaning to say, do a lot of mock exams as if it's the real exam. They sit down in the real exam, the timing is like the real exam, and they do the test as if it's the real exam. Get them comfortable with the stress. And those are the best ways to start helping your child prepare for the exam soon. All right? Oh, I hope this video has helped you to help your child prepare better for their exams. If you like videos like this, stay subscribed and make sure you hit the bell notification so that you get updated with the next videos that I have coming up next to help you and your children get the very best in school and in life. I'm Coach Webby, looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye!